Hello. This should be working now. I'm brownieruns. I mainly speedrun the Pokemon series. However, I'm here today to show you this game. This game is called Beast Quest. I'm just going to start, basically. It should all be working. Yes, okay. Time doesn't start just yet. Time starts on the first fade out after this cutscene that's like 2 minutes long. But during this cutscene, I'll just talk a bit about the game, I guess. This game was not received very well by the general public because it was just very buggy, broken and whatnot. However, we do use that to our advantage just a bit. But this game is primarily about going around freeing 4 beasts to stop a curse on an evil wizard. But this runs not too long. Kind of interesting with how upgrades work and whatnot, which is useful. Skill can help quite a bit in this run with getting more upgrades quicker. And hello everyone.
All of King Hugo's knights have failed to free the beasts from Malvel's curse, but there is hope. The ancient scrolls tell of an unlikely young hero.
The cutscene is almost over.
A boy with the courage and heart to overcome Malvel's dark magic, free the beasts, and ultimately save the kingdom. This is his story. This is his Beast Quest.
In 3, 2, 1, we start. So this section is pretty basic. Just running through a bit of a tutorial area. Easy platforming. Walking into here, there's not much we can do about that. Overall, just jumping over, simple block. On this next jump, there is something that we can do that saves the 2 animations by jumping on the side of this block. Up here, that saves a couple seconds of not having to watch 2 full animations of jumping up. And just simple platforming, where we can run up here. And we make it into the combat tutorial. Combat tutorial is quite simple. Fast attack, low damage. Sometimes you can 2-shot the wolf there if you can get 10 damage twice. However, sometimes it'll live on 1. Sometimes it's going to be annoying with not doing damage for the first 3 hits because of sometimes how fast you mash and whatnot.
When trying to dodge,
So dodging,
be sure to keep your eyes
though
on the
not
enemy.
too useful now,
Watch closely, and
there
you'll be
are
able
a
to
bit of
see which
currency that I'll talk
direction
about
you need
in
to dodge.
just a second, because we will have to use it. But the more perfect dodges you do, the more of this currency you get, which will result in more upgrades. Which is helpful
When an enemy is about to
in
attack,
terms of more
raise
upgrades
your
over the
shields
course,
to
because you can
block.
get a upgrade earlier,
Some
or a
enemies
fight
have
coming up, which
special
saves
now.
not too long.
Use everything that you have just learned to defeat the ghost wolf.
That is the tutorial done.
Well done. Seeing how swift.
So real quick, before we start running, because it slows down time, we're going to grab this upgrade named Tempest. Basically, every time you use an ability, you use some of this bar of energy, but overall what this ability does is gives you a speed attack attack speed up, sorry. Which saves a couple minutes throughout the run overall. But what we used to purchase that upgrade was a currency called AP. You get AP from chests, but we don't open any chests in this run. Well, that's a lie, we open one chest. And combat. So you get some for perfect dodges, multi-KOs. There's a few other ones that don't come to mind. But you'll use that throughout the whole run. You get some for completing quests, which is where most of the AP will come from for damage upgrades. So the combat's pretty simple. This is probably the slowest combat's going to be for a minute. But I'm going to mash through this. But as you can see, we got Flawless, which is from not taking any damage, and Perfect Dodge. We get an extra 2 AP. The goal is to, before a specific fight, get to 40 AP. So we can get a small attack upgrade, which will save us a couple seconds, maybe like 10 or 20 overall. Which shouldn't be too hard, as long as I don't get hit. There are some instances where you're using the Tempest ability, and you start getting attacked, and next thing you know, there's nothing you can really do about it. You kind of just get hit. It's not too big of an issue. You don't have to play perfectly to get this upgrade, but it is nice to have. So I use my shield on that archer. Archers, you are unable to dodge, perfect dodge them. So that's just, it's easier to just shield. Here you can also run up here. So there's quite a few instances in the run where there are some fights that you can just straight up skip. With just how janky the map is and how the barriers work. Which is just cool, I guess. Saves a bit of time.
Get back! Get away
And he is wearing the Link fit, which is very cool. It's a very dumbed down version of Breath of the Wild. This is a ally. So Elena is an ally. Also, if you've read the books, because this is a book adaptation, Tom's best friend, who is the main protagonist.
Thank you.
Allies are very helpful. They're used on almost every single boss. So Furno, which is the dragon who we're coming up to now, and throughout all of the beasts during the run, they are very helpful. They do massive amounts of damage. So we're coming up here to Forest of Fear. This is a very big part of the run. This mainly where all the glitches are. I mean, there's not that many. I think there's 2 or 3. This game's not very glitchy, as it's quite surprising. But no one runs this game. I'm the only person to run at least any percent in the last 2-ish years.
Maybe I can push that rock.
So not very popular of a speed game. Here we cannot do the block puzzle. We can kind of just angle up this way to skip this. This was the fight that you're meant to do the upgrade on, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm not too sure, but I did not do it on accident. It's fine. It's not too much time loss. The small upgrade doesn't add much. Here, more specifically, we do these swings because we want to try and kill that guy first, so then we can do the attack speed boost. Because otherwise, if we kill this swordsman first, we have to watch the animation of the guy with the axe coming across to this middle spot, which is overall just slower. And also, if we have the option to attack 2 people, it's just faster in general. Common knowledge. This gold key by here is very important, as we get to pick up an item with it. Also, this game is just not very well heard of in general. Here we can actually do the upgrade for the small attack. That's not the attack, but that's fine. Tiny mess up. I'll wait till after this one, probably. That's the crit chance, I think, which is fine anyway. As you can see, getting completely beat here. There's some chances where you just cannot avoid getting hit. Was able to pull it off there, though. Maybe I can get that upgrade. Okay, no. Maybe in like 2 more fights I can get the upgrade, which is just fine. getting that crit chance is fine because at some point in the run, hopefully later on, in the final area, we get crit chance upgrades anyway. So that's fine. We can run up here. This block skip is used all throughout the run. Nothing really much to it, apart from it can be janky at times with blocks are placed.
Is that Furno?
Here we get Silver as well. Silver is Eleanor's wolf. This boosts Eleanor, her attack, meaning that for the Furno fight, which is coming up, as you can see it says at the top, rescue Furno, who is the first beast. It is going to basically one-shot him in his first phase. Ally management is very important in this run, just to make sure that we can do mad damage to the beasts. Try and block that one there. And I can actually buy this upgrade now. Not mess up. There you go. Okay, I didn't mess it up that time. I didn't buy the wrong upgrade. We had to buy the flame sword ability in order to purchase the attack boost, which is kind of annoying. I mean, it's not used at all in the run, but it's kind of just a necessity to buy in order to purchase the attack sword. Also, some other tiny movement optimizations that is just skipping animations, so you can kind of just run up there instead of jumping on the block. Really neat things that only save a couple of seconds, but they are very helpful. Hello, Albie. So here we're coming up to our first, like, proper skip. This one's really janky, and I could just full well not be able to do this one. I'm going to try it a couple of times, but I don't want to die. But you kind of just run off here. Maybe we'll get it. Our first try. There you can kind of hit a piece of floor that's kind of poking out of the river. And then it changes the respawn point to underneath the river. I actually wasn't expecting to hit that today. Even when I was doing my grind for sub 1 hour 20. And my world record grind, actually. I could go like 3 runs without hitting it at all. So yeah. Here we have our first fight with Furno. We don't have Eleanor fully yet. That's totally fine. The main reason would be because we didn't get hit as much. But it's totally fine. Here we can use her kind of halfway through Furno already, but it's okay. And that just kills him immediately. This cutscene's not skippable, no matter what. Even if you started holding the skip button at the exact frame, this cutscene finishes before the skip can fully proceed. There is another skip, the biggest skip in the run coming up, found actually very recently, during a Beat Furno run that I verified. However, it's done slightly different in any percent, because there's an item that we need to pick up. We need to pick up the Bandit's Glove, which gives us a 5% speed attack boost, which is also very helpful. Usually, any percent would just skip this fight entirely, but we need that item because this run is a lot longer than the Beat Furno category, which is just the first beast. Honestly, I'm screwing this one up very, very badly. It's fine. So the only chest that we're going to pick up is going to be right about now to this fight, if I just don't mess it up. I've done horribly. And I have the archer. The fighting is probably the most basic thing ever. Really nothing interesting goes on during this at all. So we can pick up this chest. This will give us the Bandit's Glove. Not Beast Quest. Beat Furno skips this entirely. We want equipment there. But now we can do this skip. This skip saves like 2 minutes, I think. It saves you having to do a couple of fights. We can kind of just run up this side. And it saves you having to skip cutscenes in the village. And also... what's it called? running through the village and then just doing some random stuff. But this is an area that cannot be accessed till post-game, as you need to jump on that thing, that little platform there with Arctur's Wing. However, you can kind of just jump over on this side and like do some very tight-ish movement. However, it's totally fine. There is some 2 extra fights here with the wolves. However, these are fine as these give us more ally energy. I don't know what the name is for it. Or Eleanor. We're also looking out for 50 AP, I believe. I think it's 50. I don't really know how much exactly. I kind of just go off feeling during the run. So, my apologies if I'm wrong. I believe it's 50. So here, we're kind of stuck a bit on an island in like the middle. Usually you'd have to run between those 3 walls over there. However, we can kind of just run over here. And this wall may not look climbable because of how vertical it is. However, again, janky game physics. It just allows us to jump over. And we've saved about 2 minutes. So we're back on track with how the old route used to be. Coming up to the kind of mountainary area. Just a quick climb. It's going to be another block skip, as you can probably see. These sort of jumping sections here, as you can see, the moment that you jump from which you press the button is kind of delayed, and there are some that are really tight jumps, so missing them is almost expected in a run at least once, even for me. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I miss a few more. This golem here is very, very tight to skip. As you can see here, he's very tight to skip. However, it's not too big of an issue, as then this guarantees Eleanor before Furno 2, so it doesn't lose as much time as you'd think. His attack. So that's quite helpful, even if not like a complete waste of time. Also, more AP, you can get more dodges in and flawless. I'm just gonna not bother using my ability here. It's only like 4 hits. This one here is also skippable, however, a bit easier. You can kind of just run up here. There's a lot more room to skip him. There. Hitboxes are very weird in this game. Some enemies have really small hitboxes, and some have really big. Just kind of a iffy thing. But here we run up to the second Furno fight now. So there are 3 sub-fights for each main one. I'm actually just going to Eleanor straight away. I forgot that I had to fight that golem. Now I've used my ability. This is kind of annoying. You can get some really bad patterns on Furno where he kind of goes up in the sky and he'll do this attack. This is really annoying because you can't really hit him. I'm getting really unlucky here, actually. However, those 2 fire attacks mean that we already have Eleanor again for the next Furno. Something that I haven't tested, however, could be viable, is to use Eleanor somewhere else and then get Eleanor back for the fight. However, I've not tested this, and of course no one else has tested this. And I'm not going to try it here because otherwise we could lose a couple minutes if it doesn't work.
Stop it! You're freaking me out.
This is the last little area now, so this first boss goes through the areas of kind of like an open greenery, into a forest, and then into a more of a mountainous area, whatever the word is. After this fight, I'm going to check my AP to see if we can do another medium upgrade, because I feel like I should have been able to do it already. This is where I would normally be able to do it. Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Now we can get our next attack upgrade. And this is kind of the last upgrade that we can get with just combat AP. The rest of the fights, the rest of the upgrades come from after the main fights with the beasts, where you can get 50 AP, 100 AP, sometimes even 200. And it's very helpful, as it means you can get all of the attack upgrades, plus have some AP left over, if you wanted to maybe risk it into some crit. upgrades. However, they're not always that viable, as crits are a chance to hit. Again, phasing through rocks. Very good game design. As much as I hate on this game, at the end of the day, I speedrun it, so I can't really complain. As you can see in the distance, there is a set of 3 dragons, or wingless dragons. These 3 are skippable, however, they are very janky to skip. There's like... It's very, very tight. I will probably hit this like 2 or 3 times. You kind of have to like sway back and forth. Oh, never mind. You can't just run up against the wall. You kind of have to sway back and forth a bit. Otherwise, you'll almost certainly hit the trigger. It's very tight compared to some of the other ones. This jump section is actually kind of tight sometimes. Again, the delayed jump is kind of annoying. Usually, sometimes when I miss one jump, I'll miss the same jump like 4 or 5 times. Just because of how much speed I lose. And how much speed I have to gain back. This jump is in particular really scary. This next one coming up. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Nope, I missed that one. Bit too early on that one. Trying to find the timing is really hard sometimes. Again, we're picking up all these useless keys. The only category they used in is 100%, but no one's ever made a route for 100%. 2 people have run it, but it's not a category that I've ever thought about running, or never started to root out. These birds are kind of annoying right here, because they do like to attack very quickly, and most of the time like to live on 1 HP. That's fine, I'm going to heal here. All of the rest of the fights here, apart from one, are skippable by just running around here. There's a lot of sections where the area seems repeated from the last. You'll see that quite a bit during the run, because, again, poor game design. But all of these sets of dragons are skippable by just hugging the wall. This area is quite a bit janky to run through. I'm just going to take it a bit safer. This is the last fight before the final Inferno fight, I believe. Yep. I actually don't know what time we're on for this run so far. Otherwise, I would give an estimate to how long till the actual fight. But I didn't start my own timer. I'm probably going to have to move over a bit there. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to let me up. And that one all sorted. Tom is very good at just getting caught on a complete stop by slowly walking off like the tiniest bit of a ledge, which can be really annoying during the run. It can lose like 30 seconds in the whole run, maybe even a bit more depending on how much you mess up. But Tom gets caught on so many things, it's really not funny. So you have to be careful in how you maneuver through sections. I'm pretty sure this section here is a good one. For example, he gets caught on literally everything. Comes to a complete stop, and then you have to start sprinting again. It's not the greatest, it's not ideal. But as you can see in the minimap, we are coming up to the first beast. This one's quite interesting, as there's a bit more to it than just kill him. There's a few button inputs that you have to do afterwards. They're all the same, so they should be memorable. However, the only one that I have actually remembered is this one. So I'm going to go straight in with Eleanor. I probably shouldn't have used the Tempest ability there, but it's fine. It doesn't do too much to Inferno here, which is totally fine. But for now, any fire attack is good. Because the next fight, there's no fights between this Inferno fight and then the next beast's fight. So if we are able to get Eleanor it'll basically completely skip the fight. That's just really annoying. Which is really helpful. So honestly, I might take an intentional hit here. I might not even have to. There you go. Should be fine now. That's annoying. Should have skipped that. I'm trying to use my ability there, and it's just not doing anything. So here we have the button inputs. This button sequence is AABY. This is just a cutscene at this point. But that's the first area of 4 done. This is pretty much one of the longest areas of the run. The next area is about 15 minutes, so quite a bit shorter. That's all done. And now we just got some cutscenes to skip through. And we should all be good to go. So here I could do another upgrade for... I can do another upgrade because as you can see I got 50 AP from clearing Inferno. That would be really helpful. However, there's no fights between now and entering the Icy Plains, because the next task will be to find or enter the Icy Plains and find the Lost Boy. Those are 2 quests there. They will give us, I think, 100 AP total. So I'm going to wait until that point to upgrade, as it means I get to do 1 or 2 less menus overall. But we should be able to get our first big upgrade here for damage-wise, which is really helpful. And then from now on, we'll only be buying the big damage upgrades until at some point during the final area where we'll just buy the rest of the upgrades, because why not? And we enter the Icy Plains. It's kind of just like a small travel distance between each area. Now I have 100 AP from even just those 2 quests alone. I can buy the big damage. The next one's at 200. I don't think we buy the next one until after the Icy Plains. That I should not have hit that, and that is a slow one because that's 4. So we're going to flee from that one because that'll take too long. That was just me being too risky on how far in I went. Up here as well, there is a really weird thing with how the invisible barriers go and how high up you can actually go in some parts. Because there's a set of 3 dragons here that you can completely skip by climbing this rock, which is not intentional, if it would let me climb the rock. So it's not looking like it. Like, you can go way, really, really high on the invisible walls. And here we make it to the first fight already. Nanook should just completely die to Eleanor. No real reason. However, I will start attacking just in case it doesn't completely kill her. There's also some times in this game where the cutscenes just break and you just cannot skip them. One in specifically is the village in Forest of Fear, which is now skippable, which is brilliant. There's also some other times where the game breaks for the worst. For example, in the next Nanook fight, Tom can have his model spawn in, but because of how he spawns in, his model kind of just goes flying down the mountain, meaning that he cannot move, you cannot do anything, you kind of just have to reset the game. Luckily there's a campfire that's not too far from the fight, so it shouldn't lose too much time if that happens. Maybe like a minute and a half or something. But there are some times where you just lose time loss. And it's just not... There's nothing you can do about it. Which is really annoying when you go for world record. Luckily I've done that now and I don't have to forcefully grind this game after losing an hour and a half to stupid things that are out of my control. Another block jump here. This fight is not skippable, as far as I'm aware. However, compared to the other dragons, you do quite a bit of damage to this one. That should... Okay, I was gonna try and time that one in, but... That's good. Also, with some of the triple ones, you can get multi-KO. However, getting AP from combat, it doesn't really matter anymore. Getting AP from combat is not needed. It's the last thing that we'll be thinking about from now. It's basically up until that Inferno, that like 40 that you need. And then after that, it's just pointless. Also, getting health potions from defeating enemies is nice. If I need to heal, that was a waste of a heal because there's a campfire coming up. But I can do. There are some fights, especially in the final boss, the fourth one, Epos Phoenix, that you can die very quickly into just getting heal locked. Like straight up, you can enter the fight, heal, you use Tempest, and then because of how the attack patterns work with Epos, you can get stuck in a heal loop and then just get completely out of sync and just lose. And that's the same with basically all of the fights. There's not much you can do about it. But again, there's campfires right before every boss basically, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue if we die. Also, if this run goes well, there's also a very high chance that this could world record. Because even though my world record is 4 minutes ahead of top 2, it was still a very poor run. For example, there's a couple of deaths, so could world record here? Probably not if we get a soft lock. Or if I hit any more optional wolves. That's dumb. But we're not too far off of the second boss fight here. Now, this is probably one of my favorite areas to run through. Just because, I don't know, it just is more visually appealing. Now, we have 90 AP, so we almost have half of what we need for the next upgrade. And then this should be the last fight before. Again, the layout's kind of just the same, so I kind of have to go off of remembering. Because this layout here repeats once, I think. Take out the jumping section. But that golden key in that minimap tells me that this is where we need to be. Ugh. Okay, I need to reset the game. Of course. So that there is where Tom's model slides down the mountain because of bad game design, and I have to reset the game. Unfortunately. There's nothing you can do because you can't exit out of the fight. And you can't do much else with it. You can't move because Tom's model's gone. Just how it goes. I lose so many runs to this. However, there's no resetting here. I don't fully remember where the campfire is here. I know there's one very close. It's like right in front of the golem. Ooh, that is the wrong way. Which way am I going? That way. That was weird. So that confused me a bit there because, well, if that happened in a run, I would just reset. But we're only back here with this fight and then back in. I feel like I'm doing a lot less damage than I just did. I do have Eleanor. I don't know if I did before. I feel like I'm doing a lot less damage though. Which honestly wouldn't surprise me if I was. Again, getting caught on that tiny rock. Yeah. It didn't break this time. We can actually do the fight. That's good. Here, we're just gonna, as quickly as possible, run up to Nanook. She's gonna keep throwing snowballs. Usually you don't get hit by them if you just start going immediately, because she works on a cycle. And you can kind of just go up. So, this is the first part where we're gonna actually fight her, because she can be quite aggressive. This phase, we don't use Eleanor, because when she gets to about this much HP, she will teleport up there. So we're capped out on how much damage we can actually do. Now we just do more traveling. Honestly, we might get hit here. That's quite scary. You know, should be fine. And then here we're going to use Eleanor. Oh, I got hit right here. So now we can use Eleanor because this just goes until the HP runs out. And I'm gonna heal scarily. She's very aggressive. You really don't have that much time to react. But honestly, only only one game break. That's actually quite good. So now we just keep running over. This block jump, I think it's this one. Camera angle's really annoying. Okay, no, it's not this one. There's one block jump in the icy plains that's really annoying, because of how the block is placed, and the fact that you just get kind of stuck. And it can really mess you up and lose you a bit of time if you aren't prepared or careful or whatever. So we're at 99 AP. This fight is skippable. Yep, there you go. This one, I'm pretty sure you can climb up the side, although I've tried it, and it just doesn't work because that rock that's next to it is kind of got a massive invisible barrier. So it's kind of hard to climb, if possible at all. I'm not fully sure. This can also be scary sometimes, trying to not hit the hitbox. So I can usually just climb that one. This is the block jump that can be quite annoying because of the camera angle. However, we did that one quite fine there. That is fine. I've got a series of chain jumps that can be quite hard as well. These can be quite hard to do sometimes. Okay, we're all good there. Oh, I was not ready for that attack. They're only on one potion, which isn't too scary, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I think we're up to 2 now. I think I just got one there. This part, I feel, with my own labbing is skippable. However, I've not found something for this section yet. This section can be kind of slow. It's kind of like the one that we skipped in Forsophia. The one that I surprisingly hit. This one is very annoying because the spacing is really bad considering how far Tom jumps. So that one also, more often than not, you'll fall in the water. Tom's jump is a bit janky as well. Now this one I hit also way too much in runs, so I'm gonna run. I'm gonna try and take it a tiny bit risky, but not too risky. And now we're doing this part, which feels like it's already been done before. Probably has. Go around there because you can also hit them very easily. This should be fine. Yep. Now climbing up. We're coming to the Nanook fight final. Very shortly, I believe. If I'm remembering the map correctly. The reason I say I don't remember the map correctly is because most of this run I don't think of the map. I just run through it and hope for the best. Because you don't really need to know the map too well. And also muscle memory just likes to take over quite a bit. Because I played through this game probably almost 100 times now. It's quite a bit. Considering that top 2's play count is like 5 runs. But now we should be coming up to like mountain area. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. Kind of like forest open area. This is the final fight, I believe. The final Nanook fight has something really interesting in it. That I will show off in just a second. When we get to it. This fight also has 2 phases. Where you kind of have to like dodge snowballs, attack her a bit, she moves, and then you dodge snowballs again. But we are gonna just run through here. We don't have our shield, because our shield dropped. It's all the way over behind her. You're meant to get it after this phase here. However, we can do something quite cool. If I just like get it low. Sometimes the attack just does not like to work. So if you are quick, instead of having to run all the way over there to grab the shield, you can get here before her attack happens. That attack with her being like all insane and whatnot is meant to stop him, to stop Tom from getting to her. However, if you're quick enough, you can kind of just dodge it entirely. That's not good. Ugh. Yeah, this part's really scary because you can't really see her. But yeah, you can kind of just entirely skip the grabbing the shield section. But this one, I'm not 100% sure on the button combo. Should be A. No, X. One of them is A. Or not. Wow, I thought one of them was A. So we can skip more cutscenes here. We are done. Rescue Nanook gets us 100. And that is actually enough for a new upgrade that I'm going to grab. I don't think you usually get that upgrade there, so I'm a bit confused. I might have to end up rewatching this run. But now we move on to the third area. This third area is about 20 minutes long. However, the first 12 minutes is spent getting to the first fight. So the pacing of this is that the third area, to get to Arcta 1, that's the name of the beast, takes about 12 minutes. And then getting to Arcta 2 and 3 takes about 3 minutes each. This is like a main hub. That campfire that I just got by there is required. Because you can teleport back to that later. And it will skip some things. This is probably the longest section to travel to a new beast. You can skip a good chunk of fights here. Not all of them, just a good chunk of them. That bone's fine. This is probably the most interesting section that I still don't remember the map layout too well. And probably the least explored in a casual file for me. So there's quite a lot to do here. There's a lot of chests, as you can see around. But I don't play this game casually. Like, ever. 'Cause, 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 That swordsman over there is usually needed to fight. However, you can skip him, as I will just demonstrate real quick. It can be quite tight to skip him. You kind of want to go up here, jump down, and then kind of like around. But his hitbox behind him is quite big, as I've discovered. And then this should be the last fight before we make it into the Northern Mountains. As you can also see, I'm like two-shotting everything. We're getting to a point with things like birds and bandits, and sometimes skeletons, I can kind of just hit, and I don't need to use Tempest. Getting to a point where I lose time using Tempest, because the animation takes longer than it would to just eat the fight. I don't usually do it that often. I usually forget. However, I'm going to try. That set of wolves would be a pain. Anything that's a set of 4 is really annoying. Just because a lot of enemies, a lot of time. So I'm glad that there's at no point do we have to fight anything that's a group of 4. Again, I use this. It's really not needed to boost that, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm pretty sure this dragon, you can just run around it. I'm pretty sure I accidentally fought this in my PB. But we make it to the town in the Northern Mountains. So we can finally grab the quest achievement thing for it. That's 100. Unfortunately, that's not enough for a new upgrade. So I just have to keep rolling here. This is a new type of section. I've tried to route these so you do the least amount of animation jumps possible. However, there's not been much thought put into it. It doesn't take that much time. And honestly, I will probably mess it up anyway. This fight is needed. Got that for 2 seconds. I'm gonna just dodge him real quick. He lived on 1 HP. This slash should kill. Yeah, it's fine. I can just quickly. Oh, no, he's dead. That fight can also go to a pain if, in fact, with any set of triple bandits, if they can chain attacks. In fact, in any set of triple, I don't know why I just said bandits. They can chain attacks, and then next thing you know, you're locked for like 6-7 seconds into just having to dodge attacks or shield or whatever. Again, just more simple running through. There's not much that happens during this next few minutes of running, because this is probably one of the most boring sections of the run, unless you like this area, like aesthetically, I guess.
Well, that should send you back
Well,
to
still, the
your
birds might still be worth using Tempest on. Just ever so slightly until the next upgrade.
Well, that should send you back to your nest.
Again, just running through. Very boring. This fight is skippable. Pretty sure I hit this in my world record. Because I was playing very, very bad for some reason. Again, it just shows how unoptimized this game is. However, again, there's no one here to optimize it apart from me. And I already run so many categories. And my type of runs are more of the 12-hour runs. So this kind of gets foreshadowed a bit. Actually, one of my favorite speedrun categories is one that was done in this marathon actually by Desert Eagle, the Moki Mayhem speedrun. Although I'm pretty sure for some reason it was called Moki Madness, but it doesn't really matter. That's actually one of my favorite speedruns to do, but I don't want to have to, don't have to sit here. Sitting here for 12 hours would be quite the journey. And also, I think this game's also really cool, except for when it doesn't take my sprint input.
Who'd think a wingless dragon would be so tough?
So we have Elena here for this next Arcta fight. That's going to be very helpful, because Arcta is one of those beasts that, unless you move out of the way, like you move your position in the fight, you can't dodge his attacks. He sends boulders from the sky, and you can't shield them, and you can't, like, normal dodge out of the way. You kind of just have to move. But moving is not optimal, so the more damage you can get done, the better, type of thing. So Elena is really important for all of these. In fact, something that I experimented with, that I'm gonna do actually, is swap my ally to Nanook. Because Nanook, I'm pretty sure, does more damage to Arcta. Nanook can one-shot Arcta, to be more specific. However, I'm not 100% sure Elena can, at least not with help from Tom. Tiny bit. So, before I forgot, I decided to change. All the allies have their own different abilities type of thing. The big one is Epos, though. Epos, she can heal the player. I was going to say revive the player, but I don't think it does that. I haven't used Epos in forever, because you don't use Epos because you don't get the ability until after the run's finished. So there's no point in having a look at it. Just a straight shot here. In this run, there are 2 unskippable cutscenes that are about 2 minutes long, 2-3 minutes-ish.
What is this?
This is one of them. So this is just a cutscene that's unskippable. The next one is in a bit. So if you need the toilet or anything, or you need to do something, and for some reason you don't want to miss this run, God knows why, now's the time to do it. I'm not going to get up because I don't need to.
At first, Melville proved to be a strong student.
And usually this is where I would go for a toilet break or something during the run, because I would have been playing for a couple, I don't even know how long the run has been going for.
That's when he discovered the dark magic. That's when the experiments began. Melville would curse.
I would have been playing for about 40, 50 minutes, something like that. Again, I don't know how far we are into this run so far,
After many years, he still could not
because I'm stupid and didn't start my own timer.
Until one day, word of the famous Taladon the Swift, master of the beasts, came his way.
51:30, that's about right.
This
It's actually quite a good time.
would
think.
have access
I have my
to
splits open,
secrets
actually.
he yearned to possess.
My
Using
best
magic to
time...
take on my
Oh no, this actually isn't too... Actually, no, it's fine.
Melville
My
tricked
best
Taladon,
time, or my world record for the first Arcta fight, which is coming up very shortly, is
and the
50 and a half
ancient
minutes, so it's not too
secrets
bad.
held within.
About 2-3 minutes behind
It
my
was with
world
this
record.
knowledge that Melville
And
was
with that being
able
said, it is
to
still
perfect
possible to
the
world
dark
record,
magic
because I
needed
lost about
to
2 to
enchant
3 minutes in the final
Nanook,
section
Arcta,
of the run.
and Epos.
But here we are at the end of the cutscene.
This is the book that you
It
now
is definitely
hold in your
possible to still world record with this run. 100%. As long as nothing else goes terribly wrong. Is this one? I don't remember if you can actually skip this fight. No. I don't think any of them between now and Arcta is skippable. I know this one's not. I tried this one before. here we are. Finally, it only took like 14 minutes. But we are finally here at the first arc to fight. The rest of this section, this whole Northern Mountains, is very, very quick. Because each section after this is like 3 minutes long. Attacking here is also faster because you can do extra damage. But every split, so for the next 2 arc fights, is about 3 to 4 minutes each. Then we can quickly run into the final area. This one is like guaranteed to jump over this one, right? Yep. Sweet. I couldn't remember. Dropping inputs. This hitbox is so small. You would think that I'd have to hit this fight, but if you can just run on the rim there, it is so small. Which is why it's so confusing on how the hitbox is, please. Hitboxes work in this game, because in any normal other circumstance, you'd probably have to fight something there. But, I mean, it means I don't have to fight 3 wolves or 4. I think it's 3. Also here, very tight jump going around here. A lot of this run is to do with like tight movement in skipping fights. Also attacking spiders. No more Tempest. I forgot about that too. But a lot of the run is like doing tight jumps to skip fights. Like that one. And then the fights that you do have, you'll just have damage upgrades and go through Tempest. Trying to make sure you can have enough AP for upgrades. Having good ally management, so make sure you always have an ally. So, it may not seem on the surface very in-depth speedrun, however, assured it is like a lot more complicated. This fight, very close to falling there, also skippable. You can go on the other side of that tree, but I'm not going to risk it here. Just a bit more running. The next fight is coming up really shortly, I believe. After this climb. After this climb, there's a bridge section. And then it should just be home run to the second fight. Okay, we're in tight there. And then just past here. I tempested again. Probably not for the best. There we go. And here we are. This one, I've never found out it's faster to fall down and go around, but I feel like this is just faster. For some reason, you have to go on the other end of the fight arena. It made me skip that twice for some reason. This one is just a normal fight. You don't have Nanook. There's just simply not enough fights between Octa 1 and Octa 2. So you kind of just have to make sure you have enough potions. You only need 2. In fact, you could probably get away with 1 in some very rare circumstances. But there's just simply not enough fights between Octa 1 and 2 because of how short it is. There's only really 1 or 2, I think, right? My memory is also not the best. Very sure in this section also, we come up to a part where it's kind of just 3 golem fights back to back, which is really slow, and I would really love to skip it in the future. If I ever do decide to go back and check the things again. These jumps are fine because these are very close together. A date is in what term of date? This section is very simple. There's no fights here. You can kind of just, preferably don't go over that log. Going over logs loses like a second. Maybe half a second or something. This one's really nice. You don't have to climb. Luckily, you can just jump over here. Really, really sweet. And then you can kind of just... the year this game came out was 2018. So, very bad game for 2018. Fight. After this climb, I believe it's the set of golems, and then it should just be straight shot to thingamajiggy. Technically, this is the second Beast Quest game that came out. There's a mobile one that came out in 2015 that doesn't have a speedrun leaderboard, I'm pretty sure. That one I've been interested in speedrunning, but I've never gotten around to it because mobile game, and you have to like pay gems to unlock new beasts. A bit iffy. This game does look quite old and new. It's just how like everything was plonked into place and not really had much thought. And you'll hear me hating on this game, probably throughout the whole run, as I have been. It's just, if you compared it to something like Breath of the Wild, which came out the year before, then you'll see. Though again, this is a book adaptation, so you can't really expect much from it. And it's also a very easy speedrun to learn, which is why I started running it a couple years ago, like 3 I think at this point. I got drawn to this game when, also, there's the fight here, this should be over really quickly. I got drawn to this game because I used to be a heavy fan of reading the Beast Quest books. I own quite a few of them. Let me just focus up for this real quick. Because I don't remember these button combos at all. Maybe one more. I got drawn to this because I read a lot of the Beast Quest books. I own quite a few of them. And also, one day, when I started speedrunning, because I started speedrunning when I was 9, and I started doing really short, like 5-minute speedruns. Also, we can teleport here, run down here, and straight up. That's why that campfire is so important. And it wasn't until after I speedrun this game a few times, I did like 3 speedruns, they were all like 2 hours long, where I started doing more things like Pokemon, with things like Scarlet and Violet, which was like a 5-hour speedrun, where I started doing the longer speedruns, which I find more enjoyable now. But this was kind of one of the first games that I proper speedran put into like any percent and not just the short mini game categories. Here we can grab 200 thingy-mabobs here, so we can upgrade here to that, and we can also pick up the medium. So we have the final big upgrade and the medium upgrade. So we can now focus mainly on attacking. We can buy the rest of the upgrades soon. As you can see, find Taladon's armor. It's a thing for 2 reasons. Also, we can kind of just skip this whole section by gliding over it. Pretty handy. It's a kind of a big thing for 2 reasons, or 3. 1, it's a big story plot, because Tom's doing this quest because his dad was the master of the beasts. If you read the books, you'll know what that means. And his father went mysteriously missing one day. He didn't ever see his father again. He was a baby. All that. That's the main reason. The story plot. Second, it is the second, like, 2-3 minute cutscene of the run. And the final one. And it is also our final big dump of AP. It's like 100 or 200 AP, I think. Where we will get the rest of the upgrades. So we'll have all of the damage increasing upgrades. And we'll also have a few small crit and medium crit upgrades. I don't know if I will bother going for them. I might do just for safety, actually. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, depending on pace. If I'm on like a really good pace, then I won't. If I'm on an okay pace, then I will. And then if I'm on a bad pace, well, never on a bad pace. I knew about speedrunning from just random YouTube videos. I saw one YouTube video, I don't remember what it was. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. And I started with a Switch game called Jump Rope Challenge, which was just you swing Joy-Cons and it's just a jump rope thing. But the thing that started getting me really into speedrunning was when I watched a couple years ago in, I think it was AGDQ or SGDQ, 2020, a Gunner-Maniacs, it's Pokemon Sapphire, and using glitchless speedrun. That was the main thing that started me speedrunning, and I've done it basically ever since. And it has been quite a few years now. In fact, I just turned 15 yesterday, so it's been, I don't even know how many years now. 5-ish. There's a lot of just skipping kind of triple fights here by just running around. Gliding is obviously much faster than climbing due to cutscenes and just how slow Tom moves in general. Gliding, just faster. It's a nice thing to have. One time I theorized about a beast skip, so skipping the entirety of Arcta by somehow... I just got burned somehow. I shouldn't be getting burned, but okay. I theorized that after Nanook, when you can grab that, what's it called? Campfire, you can somehow manipulate Tom's respawn point, just like in Forest of Fear. I haven't been successful. However, if I was successful, I would be thinking about would it even be possible to finish Stonewind Volcano due to not having gliding. Because I'm pretty sure later on in the run you need gliding to finish the run. So I'm not too sure. But just something interesting. No beast skip has been found yet. If anyone is likely, it would be Ferno or Nanook, as you need... The only time you need their items on the shield is to leave the area that you fought them in. There might be one extra place for Ferno where his ability comes in. But other than that, not really. Arcta is one that you really need his ability, I think, just to finish this area alone. However, if you could skip Epos, then skipping Arcta could go hand in hand if one is found. But no one's found one yet, because, again, no one's really tried to look for a thingamabob. As you can see in the distance there, that is Talon's armor. Right after then, we get the Epos 1 fight. That one's really scary, and I have a very high chance to die. Here's another chance to go do something, if you need to, because this is another cutscene that's a couple minutes long. Again, I don't need to get up. I remember to go for the toilet before the run.
Named Taladon quickly became a hero to the people. One fateful day, whilst on a quest that took him to the caves of
this is more story plot about how Taladon
Epos,
was master of the beasts. He went up to Stonewind Volcano, saw Epos, and then Epos killed him, I think. That's the theory. Whilst Malval was watching, Malval is the name of the evil wizard, who I'm pretty sure it was in the last cutscene. Adiro, who is the good wizard, mentioned that he took Malval under his wing, helped him, so it's kind of his fault that all this happened, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But the cutscene's over already. Wow, these cutscenes are a lot faster than I think. In my world record, I had to quickly go do something for this cutscene. So I lost like a couple seconds, maybe even close to a minute, on just having to go quickly run and do something for my family. So, again, big chance for world record still. But that's the last of the upgrades now, or it should be anyway. I didn't get any small crit chance, anything, because there wasn't that much AP left over. This should be the right way, yeah. So I didn't bother. It shouldn't matter anyway, it's a percentage, so it's a chance. That's the campfire, which is why I didn't worry that we missed the one earlier. and up we go to the Epos 1 fight, the one that we can very much die on. So yeah. Epos is really simple. She will shoot fireballs. 3. She will do it again, I believe. And as soon as she shoots the third one, she starts coming down. So you have very minimal time to react with this. And if you mess it up once, it's kind of just over. Like that, because she does mad damage. Like, it's very close. We did manage to kill her, though, very quickly, actually. But it is a very, very, very close boss to kill. I will do a reference in a minute. So if you remember the time that we just got for Epos 1 on the fade out, when I have time, I will tell you the world record time to see. The world record got a 1:06:53 Epos 1. I don't know what time we're on right now, but we could either be close for record or really far off, depending on how the rest of the run or bit that we've done has gone.
Well, that should send you back to your nest.
Again, fell. Not great. This one you can skip by going around. You can actually jump on that island, but they have to jump to here. However, instead, I'm going to do this. This can be a bit tight to climb up. I've only done this like twice in runs. Luckily, the hitbox is really small for those birds. It's not the hardest thing in the world. This one's also skippable. This is one of the only areas where you can kind of go off the path in movement and jump back on. Skipping movement, fights, and whatnot. And it not... Like you can do it intentionally. So obviously in the Forest of Fear we did it once, and it kind of just was broken at the time. That was fully intentional. There was no manipulating of jumps of such. Please jump. Gotta remember to let go of the sprint button, because if you don't, then the glide button may break. And that's quite fun when the glide button breaks and loses you at the run, essentially. I'm gonna quickly double check where I need to go, because that section is very similar to a different section in the run that's coming up shortly. That one's not skippable fight. These fights are kind of like Pokemon in a way. There are some trainers that you can skip, and there's some that you can't. That way, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. This cave always confuses me because there's like 2 caves and they look almost identical. I basically just can't tell them apart. So my apologies if I have to slow down just a tad. It's the same with every run, basically. Please. Okay. That way, I'm pretty sure, right? Yep. Again, also showing that this game is really unoptimized, because I don't actually know which way I'm going. We're running up here, so up there, I'm pretty sure, like right up there is the next air boss fight.
Well, that should send you back
If
to
I'm
your
not
nest.
mistaken. I'm actually going to try something where I go to that island on the left
Well, that should send you back
and then
to
jump
your nest.
over. I think I did it once. I don't remember if it actually saved any time. Actually, no, it's definitely not going to save any time. I'm just going to run I would not have saved any time. That is stupid. I don't even know why I thought that. The reason for it would be, my first submission was the Galarian Star Tournament speedrun, Pokemon Sword and Shield. That runs very RNG-ish. And also, how this year has been is, I've been busy. On Friday, I went out with family. Yesterday was my birthday. That is bad. Yesterday was my birthday. Today is like a family Christmas thing, so I wouldn't have time anyway. And then Christmas is also coming up, so it's like that. So those are the main reasons. And also, I'm very rusty on all of my longer speedruns. Thank you. So it's been very busy this past week. And I haven't had time to derust one. I was meant to speedrun Pokemon Scarlet and Violet any percent for the next marathon that's happening right after Christmas, I think. However, I haven't had time to derust that game at all, so I'm no longer doing that. And also just not having time. So that would be why. But I do like to do some things. I've been part of relays that are the main series of Pokemon, so generations 1 through 9. I've done my own challenge for Pokemon, which was like 20 hours. I don't know which way it is that way. So preferably, I do longer speedruns. However, I do like to do some shorter ones. For things like after school and whatnot. I don't think you can make that with a jump. That's that way, that's way. It was also my 15th birthday yesterday, which was quite cool, I guess. I don't know, I know many people's birthday in December, not specifically my date. But those are the reasons why I speedrun. Prefer the longer runs, but haven't done one. And it also goes hand in hand of Pokemon game, speedrun equals long. Yep. Quite a coincidence. Please take my sprint input. Oh, trust me, I'm not really that better. I do long speedruns to be more impressive with length than skill. My skill in speedruns is incredibly low. Apart from this game. We should be coming to the end of the cave now. There's not a lot of fights in here. Again, anything in these big rooms with open areas. Usually the hitbox is not big enough, and you can kind of just skip around it. There's not really too much to it. Other than that. These smaller ones, however, usually, because they're in more of a narrow area, they're not that skippable. Usually you have to do them. But I'd rather do a bunch of short one enemy fights than like 2 or 3 enemy fights, because usually you have to wait for one to move in the way, and it's just slower in general. I'm gonna grab this checkpoint just for safety here. I don't know how far away we are. I don't actually remember where we are in this part of the map. We shouldn't be too far off the final fight. Should just be a bit more walking. A lot of this run is just walking. Yeah. It may not seem like an interesting run. And honestly, I get it. Sometimes it's not. Please attack. At times, although that feels like Pokemon as well. This one, I'm gonna jump here. Okay, I'm surprised I made that, actually. Usually you have to glide there. And I don't know if I'm gonna actually hit this fight on accident. Just gonna make sure. No, we're good. It's a rip-off Zelda. This is what this is. Yeah, rip-off Zelda. Although we're not wearing the blue tunic anymore. There are actually. Last couple months ago, I got my first ever Skylanders world record for Skylanders Imaginators. It lasted 3 days, but whatever. I've been interested in learning the rest of the series to do the Sky Factor, which is all 6 of those games in the glitchless form for world record. I've also been interested in learning some other Pokemon games, Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Sun and Moon, like games like that, and also the Spyro series has been interesting. But here we are into the final room. There shouldn't be too much. Again, I can die here very easily. Cat's just run into the room, so hope she doesn't ruin the run. Final room. I don't know if we have Nanook. I didn't actually check. Nope, we really don't. Yeah, Skylanders was one of my childhood game series. Should be the last one. She should be coming down now. And this is where it can all go wrong very quickly. Also, her animation bugs sometimes, and she does the same move twice. Like that, there, you skip it, and then it bugs me out really bad. Please go. And, okay, that's fine. That works. So, timing is coming up. Timing happens on the final one of these button inputs. I'll tell you when. Basically, as soon as the band breaks, which is as soon as you press the button, really. This run's actually been quite good, surprisingly. No major mistakes, apart from the Nanook situation, but that didn't lose too much time. Yeah. And last one, time.
What? But that's impossible! What have you done, boy?
That's time.
What I had to.
I don't know what the final time was at all, actually. This game is based off the books loosely, not too much. And yeah, it's not always a great run. It can be quite boring at times, but whatever. It can be interesting with the AP rating. I did just see the final time is 1:20:57, which beats the old world record by about a minute. So that's actually quite good. I was expecting this to take a bit longer. But thank you guys for watching, and the good questions. Thank you for having me, because this is also my first ever marathon run, and I was quite nervous actually. But the run went quite well. I have no idea what to do now, in terms of the stream. I have no idea.